Hello, Hellbound friends. How are you doing today? I almost said how you all doing. I fucking do that all the time. God damn it. Today, I am here with NotJah Witness. How are you
What's
doing
up?
today?
G'day, GI. How you doing? I'm good, man.
And NotJah Witness is a new YouTuber to the platform. He's been making some pretty awesome videos. And I think everybody should go and check him out and subscribe right away. You won't be disappointed with what he's putting out. So basically, the first thing that I'd like to talk to you about is not so much your deconversion story, but what made you crazy enough to get on YouTube?
Well, I've been on YouTube for a while. I've just had other channels, and I never focused on anything of any worth. So once I sort of had this brainwave of, realizing that the JWs are actually full of shit, it was just something that I sort of naturally just went over to start doing videos for this now, because I felt like that was something I could actually, I could write with care and love and knowledge that that's my experience. So it's something I could actually talk about. So all of a sudden, I went from making videos that were just bullshit videos to all of a sudden, every video had a real meaning and every video had, a purpose. And so it was just natural that I just rolled over and started doing videos.
And one of the things that you touch on your videos, and I can't remember the name of the book, but the children's stories.
My book of Bible stories.
Yes, and it's really strange, but we had that book growing up. I don't know why
Really?
we had it. We weren't Jehovah's Witness, but we had that book. I remember all the illustrations that you've shown. And it's just really strange that we had it. I never associated it as just being a Jehovah's Witness book.
True. I mean, it was a Watchtower book, so it definitely is. But that surprises me that other like people from other religions would end up with that book and reading it, or especially how much how very JW it is. I'm surprised people of other religions would allow it.
Well, I'm pretty sure that my grandmother probably gave it to my parents. My grandmother was friends with some Jehovah's Witnesses, so they probably gave it to her, and knowing she had grandkids. But yeah, it was really shocking to see you doing this video series, and I know all of these illustrations by heart.
Yeah, and isn't it a weird thing that they're like you? Because they were something I read so much as a kid that when I'm going back at it, I know all of those pages by heart. Even if I can't remember the stories, all those images I remember distinctly.
It's so strange how that stuff sticks with you throughout your life. In the chat, someone said that you sound like Satan, and they like it.
Nice. Blame that on all my smoking.
So, NotJah Witness is from the land down under, as we call it up here. And I wonder if is there differences between the Jehovah's Witnesses Church in Australia as there would be in America?
We didn't specifically touch on that yesterday with my interview with me and Fenria, but we did sort of go into trying to find out what differences there might be, and we didn't really find too many. I think more than anything, you'll find differences between congregations, and that's just because of the individuals and the way they will decide to, push things. Some will be more strict, some will be more lenient.
And are the Jehovah's Witnesses fairly big in Australia?
They're probably they're well enough known, but they are still a minority Christian denomination. Like they're not huge or anything.
Okay.
But everybody knows who they are, and they're like, oh yeah, they're the door knockers. They probably don't like them, but they don't have anything against them necessarily because they don't know that much about them.
Okay, and I know probably quite a bit about Jehovah's Witnesses from the outside, we have a Kingdom Hall in our town here, and so we're visited just about once a week by Jehovah's Witnesses. Not so much anymore, since we've just started telling them, "Hey, I'm atheist, and I know several Jehovah's Witnesses that are former online. I'm pretty good friends with them. I'd sure like to discuss some of these stranger beliefs that you have."
That'll certainly put them off a bit.
Yeah, they probably don't really want to talk too much about it anymore. Once I've said that, usually
one of those cases. They would go and take it to an elder and ask for advice, and they'd probably try and get a real seasoned brother to come to your door.
we have this man. He's such a kindly old guy, and he just walks around town all the time, and he's the softest spoken man in town. And just the moment that you tell him, "Well, I'm an atheist," oh no.
He's distraught.
It's like, "Oh, I've just crushed this man."
Yeah. You crushed his soul and his spirit. Spirit is broken.
Well, I mean, speaking of your YouTube channel, I know that, like many others, you are not out of the closet, correct?
That is correct.
And there's definitely reasons for staying in the closet. I believe you said in another interview that I saw that you still live like in the community.
Yeah, I'm still living because I work for my parents in a family business. I still live with them. My mother and my little brother who live here at home are still JWs, baptized, very, very devout.
And did they not know that you're out of the church at all?
They know I'm out of the church because that was a big event that happened many years ago, well before my little brother got married. But it was like I wasn't baptized. It was a bit of a fading where my mum still thought that she could bring me back, I suppose. And that's her continuing belief. And because I'm not baptized, she can believe that. She doesn't have to disfellowship me or anything like that. And neither does my little brother. But it's still a case that if I was to come out and be honest with with what I'm doing, I can't really imagine how that would go down. I mean, I mentioned the other day a joke about apostates, and on Facebook, on my family Facebook, made a mistake, put it on the wrong Facebook. How quickly did my little brother come down and want to question me about it, and he was worried about it. I just had to play it off. Oh, that was just a play on words. It was nothing serious.
I have done that so many times, but not so much recently. Recently, it's been more or less Mrs. Snarky is on a quest to out me to my family and coworkers. She's not in this chat, so I can talk about her. She's watching.
She's in the she's in the chat. Not live with us. Yeah.
But no, the other day, I don't remember what it was, but she shared something, and it was on a public profile where my family could see it, and my grandmother liked it. And
oh God!
I was like, oh no, Grandma. But no, anyway, back to what we're talking about here. I imagine, being in that situation that you deal with quite a bit of stress, worrying that people are going to find out. With me in my situation, like, everyone knows I'm an atheist, but nobody really knows that I'm an activist on YouTube.
Okay.
Or on Twitter and promote other people. So I don't know exactly how that would affect me, but not having people know that you're an atheist, that has to come with quite a bit of added stress.
Not yet. I suppose it hasn't been long enough yet. There hasn't been enough time for it to be questioned. So I'm still sort of haven't hit that stage yet.
Okay.
I'm pretty good at just letting things cruise the way it is, like.
And I guess the question I was going to have for that is this when I look at American religion is front and center of everything. Is Australia that way, or is it more like a European country where religion is just kind of something that you either have or you don't?
In the case of that, it'd definitely be more like a European country than America. We are nowhere, like we have people that are very devout. Like you'll get your street preachers, very animated preachers and stuff. Those people that are really into it. But we're nowhere near as like we don't necessarily mix things in with our religion, and so there's only so much emotion that you'll put into your religion because of that. And so what I see from an outside point of view in America is that a lot of Americans who are Christians will intertwine their religion with another part of their culture.
Yeah.
And so they might have really strong feelings for another part of their culture, but they'll also entwine that with their strong feelings for their God. And it becomes a sort of, it's like manifesting a stronger emotion that's harder to break, because they've lumped all of these different things into the same, feeling in with their God, and their God is immovable. So everything that they put into that pile is then immovable, and they're very hard to, even just talk to. If you're a different Christian and you talk to somebody that is that fervent, it's going to be hard to talk to them. It's going to be hard to reach them, even if you're just trying to talk to them about religion, because they are so wrapped up with their particular God, that's wrapped up with their maybe guns, that's wrapped up maybe with their part of America that they live. There's all these different things that get lumped into it, which people in other countries don't have those connections. It's just that's their God. You know what I mean? Like that's as far as it goes.
Yeah, America is very strange when it comes to religion, because I think it was Cyrus, the skeptic, that I was talking to the other day, that atheist in America is less trustworthy than like a Muslim jihadist, which is really odd. Just saying I don't believe in God or gods somehow just trips people up so much in this country, because people really wear their religion on their sleeve here. They do.
And that confuses me, because I look at it in a different way, where I go, if you're a Christian and you're looking at two different people, one's a Muslim and one's an atheist, I would think that the atheist might be easier to talk to about your religion, as opposed to having two conflicting religions, where normally that will spark a lot of emotion. Somebody like an atheist should be more easy to talk to,
Yeah, you would think so.
I don't get where they come across with that, but maybe it's just, they believe in a God, and so I can trust them.
Yeah, you would really think it was that way. It's so, and I gotta say, the saying, speak of the devil and he'll appear. I just mentioned Cyrus, and now he's in the chat.
Nice.
But no, it's so strange. American religious nature, when it comes to how deeply ingrained it is into politics and just day-to-day life, is so different compared to the way it is in the rest of the world. The only thing that I can really compare it to, it seems a lot like the old Russian state government when they were Soviets, and how deeply indebted you had to be into that. And if you weren't, you were untrustworthy.
Yeah, no, that's a good comparison.
Yeah, it's so strange. But to get this back to you and your channel, I have been trying to think over the last little bit when we were talking how I came across your channel, and I want to say it was actually through Godless Engineers chat that you were in there at one point.
That wouldn't surprise me. It'd either be that or Shannon.
Yeah, and I think it was just your name was so original to me that I had to check out your channel. And so yeah, NotJah Witness is probably one of the funniest names that I can think of that I've seen so far. It's really good, and it really describes just what your channel is. You're NotJah Witness.
No, it says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's great.
I suppose I should thank Jehovah for that one.
Well, thank you, Jehovah, you non-existent being.
You did one thing right.
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the other things that I wanted to talk about tonight, I know that you did a response video to a Dr. Guyman video where he responded to one of my videos.
Oh, that one, yes.
And
I had a lot of fun doing it.
I had to say that you did such a great job responding to him that I looked at it and I was like, there's not really anything else that I could say on this. He's nailed it pretty much in every possible way. And so I guess my question for you when it comes to Guyman is Poe or not Poe?
I still think in his heart, he's genuine. I think he's putting on a show, of course, but I think he's actually trying to learn. I think there's a genuine person in there that is just trying to do things right. But he's young and he's trying to make a scene. He's making a name for himself. He's not the brightest kid in the world, but that's not something anyone can be held against. Like, you can't hold that against him.
I have gone back and forth so many times on him trying to figure it out. But I do think that there is a sense in what you're saying there, that there's a kid who's probably been deeply indoctrinated, and he's just trying to figure things out, and he's doing it in the best way that he knows how. I was just going to say, it is a productive way of doing it. He's not hurting anybody, and he's putting himself out there where he's letting himself be critiqued. He doesn't always accept it, but he's putting himself in that position. So. Yeah, and I was going to say, I don't know if you've had a chance to watch it. Mrs. Snarky did a video with him the other day, an interview, where he came out and apologized for not actually researching the things that he talks about. And it seemed like he was actually really felt bad, which is an interesting thing. I mean, a lot of people out there just like, he's a Poe. Well, he doesn't really fit. He doesn't. Aspects of a Poe. He doesn't promote things. He just makes videos. And a lot of times the only views he gets for his videos are the people that he's responded to. Yeah, I know. I had a big old laugh about the first Dr. Guyman video I did, which was that rap video he did. And immediately I had more views on my video than the original video. And it wasn't until I did mine that his views started raising. Like, oh, poor little dude. I have a soft spot for him. Even just now, I've just looked at my YouTube notifications and he's replied to 2 of my comments on his videos. I had one video suggesting him to get into OBS instead of the Screencast-O-Matic thing that he uses because it's bloody ridiculous. And he's like, oh no, there's no pause button. So if he makes a mistake or have to stop the recording to pull up a website, he has to make another video to put it in. So he's obviously trying, like he's being genuine. He just doesn't quite have all the information, you know? All I want to do is live!